everyone, I'm Yolanda Soto Lopez from the All Crafts channel. I hope you enjoyed today's video tutorial. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so. That way you never miss a new video. If you see anything you like, be sure to hit that like button, put any comments below, and let's get the party started. Hello everyone, today I wanted to do a video to give you some information on how to read yarn labels and what the information on the yarn labels means. Now here I've gotten some different types of yarn to give you some different weights and different things. This one, some more from Caron Cakes, and different information for different yarn. Now I hope this information will help you in selecting your yarn when you're going to be working on projects, because depending on the information that is on the label, it might help determine if that's a good fit for you or if you're going to want to use that yarn. It's important to know because after you put in so much work and money, your time, we want to make sure you know how to take care of the item so it doesn't get ruined when you wash it, or you know how to take care of that. Now, one of the first things, I'm going to try to just go like in the order, which is, this one's a little bit different, but here usually, and you could see it on our other yarns here. I'm going to get a little bit closer. I have some yarns, some hooks and needles here, and I'm going to show you what, why I have those there. Now here, when you see your yarn label, this one, of course, is Simply Caron, from Simply Soft from Caron, and it's an acrylic yarn. So here it will tell you this is 100% acrylic, and it actually tells you they're medium, this weight. Now this one is kind of nice because it tells you right away machine washable and dryable. So a lot of times they don't say that, and you just have to rely on the symbols to know what's going to happen there. So here, this one is kind of nice because it gives you the information that it is washable and dryable. And these are one of the things I like about the Yarnspiration yarns, because they will actually, like this one, the Caron Cakes, it will tell you hand wash, lay flat, that whole information that is here. But a lot of times people don't know the symbols, so that's what's kind of neat about that yarn. So a lot of them won't say that, but that's kind of neat. You can also read on that. So now if you know that you don't like to hand wash things, or you just don't have the time because life is so busy with kids, with family, work, everything. So maybe you're going to be then inclined to choose yarns that are machine washable and dryable. You don't want to hand wash or do other things for it. So these are one of the information that you would want to know. So this would be a good yarn if you're looking for a medium weight yarn. Then you know that, hey, I can wash this, I can dry it, you know how to take care of it. So here, the first thing usually after you see this here, well, let me tell you, this is going to tell you how much the yarn weighs, how much is in there. And it's also going to give it to you in the grams. So this is 6 ounces, 170 grams. It'll tell you the approximate yardage. Usually it's a little bit more. And then it also gives it to you in meters. So it would be 315 yards and 288 meters. And so this yarn is interesting because there is no dye lot. Now dye lot means that they're using the same lot all the time, the same yarn. So that you can choose, like if you got this color and you go 2 weeks later, a few days later, it's still going to match. It's still going to be the same color. When yarn companies dye their yarns, they do it in batches, so they call them lots. A lot of times, just from one batch to another, from one lot to another, there could be a difference, slight difference in the dye, the lot, and so sometimes you'll get a little variation in the color. So you want to make sure that when you buy your yarns that you have them in the same lot, so then you want to make sure you match up your dye lot so that they can all be the same. Like this one, it just tells us the color number. It doesn't give us a dye lot. This yarn here, I believe, has a dye lot. Is it? Yeah. So here, this is what I'm talking about. This will give you the lot number. This is the color dye lot. So here, this is the teal color, teal lake. And that's the color. So if you bought, like, say, if you need more than one ball, which most projects do, since this is a small 3.5 ounce package here. So if you were going to buy more than one, you need 2, 3, 4, whatever. You need to make sure that you get the same color if you need the same color, but you also have to match that dye lot to make sure that they're all the same color. You don't want to have a slight variation for one being a little bit lighter or darker, and you'll be able to see that in your finished garment. So that's what the dye lot is. And so this yarn here has no dye lot, so you're pretty safe when choosing the yarn that has no dye lot if you need more than one, or if you need to go back. That's why I always say, if you're going to buy for your project, get all the yarn at once, because sometimes you go back and you can't find the same dye lot. And I have had that happen to me, where I did a sweater and I thought, oh, it looks okay. Then in the sun, I could tell that the sleeves were lighter than the rest of the sweater. So that was very disappointing to have all that work done. So, okay, so then that's the dye lot. Now here, this number here is going to tell us the weight. This one is a size 4, which is a medium weight. And the medium weight, a lot of times that's what we call the worsted weight yarn, or Afghan yarn, Aran yarn, and usually here, then it's going to tell us the next thing we have here, like this one here, the next one is a size 2. So this is a fine yarn, and the size 2 is more like a sport, what we call a sport or baby yarn. And then this one here, it tells us that this is a size 1. Now this is interesting because I feel like the lace one, which here for Patton's lace, I love this yarn. It has little sequences. I don't know if you could see that, but it sparkles, so cute. This one is a size 2, and then this one for loops and thread, the wool, like this says it's a 1, but I feel like this lace one it's definitely thinner than the 1. So they could even kind of vary from yarn to yarn. So if you're making a project that the designer has specified a yarn, a lot of times, well, it's usually, if you can get the yarn, it's best to use that yarn. Not necessarily the color, but that yarn, because that's what they designed that garment for. So here, that number 2 is what we call the sport or baby. Now this one here, the number 1 is a fine weight, even though I felt like this was a little bit thinner. For the number 1 here, that's what we call a sock or a fingering baby yarn. So this is like the super thin one. I don't know if this, I wouldn't use this for socks because it doesn't seem to have much stretch, and I like to use sock yarn for socks because it gives it they tend to have a little bit more elasticity. So these are the different weights, so you need to check the weight here. And then next to the weight, it's going to give us the suggested knitting needle and hook size. So here for this one, let's see, for the number 4, it's telling us that they feel like a size 5mm crochet hook or an H hook, which is the number 8 US, would be a good size for that. And then the knitting needles, then it would be 5mm, and that would be a size 8. So then you would just go through your hooks, like say if I was going to use this is a 5.5, so this might be okay. But then I would want to try to get as close to that. And that's why sometimes when I say you can use whatever hook, yarn or hook size, as long as it's appropriate to the yarn, that's what I mean, that the weight is appropriate to the hook. The weight and the hook size are appropriate, and you can find that out by looking at these symbols. Now after this, the symbols you're going to hear here, it's going to be telling you these other little symbols are going to give you the laundry. These are all for how to wash this garment or how to take care of it. Here it's already told you machine washable and dryable, so that's pretty good. Here it's telling you you can use warm water. That's this little, it looks like a little open or sideways peel with little waves that's supposed to simulate water. It's telling you here the temperatures 40 Celsius, 105 Fahrenheit. That's like the temperature of the water that you could use that. Now this over here it's the lace. It's telling me I can wash it, but it's only one little dot, so that's telling me that I need to use cool water, cold water, colder water. And then this one also has two little dots, so you'll be able to find out. Now here, so that's, you see the little bucket there. Now for this one, which is the Caron cakes, let me see if you can see the little symbol there. Now it has, I know that's kind of small, let me see if I could get closer. That has a little symbol of the bucket, and it has a hand. I know you can't really see that there, but there is like a hand inside of this tub. So it's telling you, you need to hand wash this. There's no no machine washing for the Caron cake. So here it says hand wash. And then this little thing, this little symbol with a little square with the a square with a square, this is a symbol for the dryer. And here it just has a little line across. So that's telling you you're going to have to lay it flat to dry. So this is not a washable in the machine or in the dry. So you're going to have to hand wash, and then you're going to have to lay it flat. Probably like one of those little items like the sweater drying. There's like these little nets that look almost like hammocks, but you put your sweater on there and then the air can circulate on the bottom and then it dries. And this is also, the lace also has that line, lay it flat. So it's giving you flat. If these lines went up and down, then that means you would need to dry it. You could hang it on the line to dry. Now this one here, you have that little symbol for the, they go even extra to tell you do not dry this, because this is a symbol for the dryer. So on here as well, it tells you don't dry that one. They want you to hand wash it. Now this is the little iron. So here it's saying no iron. So, and then the one that people really, you really need to know is like the diamond, the little, not a diamond, excuse me, the triangle. When it's filled in and it's got the X, that means no bleach. Do not use bleach on this item. And most of them here will have the no bleach. See, this one has also that triangle with the no bleach. This one has the P, and that's actually telling you that you could dry clean this garment. And so, I mean, if you want to dry clean it, you could. But that one is telling you, both of these say no bleach. So no bleach, no bleach. Now this one's interesting here because this one has the triangle, but this one has the two little lines through it. So that means that you can use bleach, but it has to be non-chlorine. So it has to be color fast safe. If it's just empty, a blank triangle with no lines or anything, that means that you can use bleach on it. And I think I've only seen like the white cotton yarn that had it. Usually it has no bleach. So these are just some of the laundry symbols. And so you want to make sure you know, like, hey, am I going to be the kind of person that hand washes stuff? I don't usually hand wash too many things other than hand knitted socks. I try to avoid items that can only be hand washed. There's some things that I do because if it's a garment that I'm not going to use like a lot, then it's okay because I can just wash it and line, you know, either dry it flat or tumble it or whatever it says. So like I did the boho vest, I did this, and I like the Caron cakes. I love them. And I did it with this because I didn't mind, because I'm not going to be washing that very often because I'm not going to be using it so much. So those are some of the things that you want to keep in mind when you're selecting your yarns. These are some of the symbols here. So you keep that in mind when you buy your yarn. Try to buy enough for your whole project. And then that way you don't have to worry about running out. If there's a dye lot, you want to make sure you match them all before you buy everything. And then here, just make sure you match the hook sizes for your yarn, whichever one you're using. And so if you have a yarn that is a size 0, I don't see it that often other than on crochet thread. But the size 0 is actually what you call a fingering yarn. And it's a size, the same size, I believe, as a 10 count crochet thread. So these are just some of the information. You can look on your needles and your crochet hooks to match it. when you are working with your yarn. Hopefully this will help you be able to better choose the type of yarn you're going to select for your project. So I hope it was helpful. This was a video was requested by one of the fans on my Facebook page. So make sure you go over there at All Crafts Channel on my Facebook, and also on my blog allcraftschannel.com. I have some more information, and then if you become a member, then you can be notified when there's new videos. I thank you so much for sharing your day with me, and please subscribe if you haven't already done so. That way you never miss a new video. Hit that like button, lets me know that you like this video content. And remember always that God loves you.